What you are about to see is a really good argument for why black nationalism exists and why black people are mad at white people. Something that I'm sad that you have to see are a bunch of segments that I wanted to edit, which I couldn't edit because not only is my editing software not working the way I want to, and I'm still figuring out how to work this cheap, free editing software, I just simply don't have the time to make it work because I've tried over and over again doing the simplest kind of edits. They don't work. There's a lot of me moving and posing like, oh, here's an edit, and nothing happens. That's just going to be the video for now, okay? I'm going to hire an editor, buy an editing software, or do something with it at some point, but for now it's just the raw stream. So please accept my humble apologies for all the times I seem to be editing, I seem to be prepared for an edit, because there are no edits in this video. There's one Glussenblur, or Glussenblur, I don't really know how you say it, but, or Glussenblur, I don't know how you say it. Either way, there's one, and that's the only editing thing I got to work, is that, and that alone. So, you know, if I figure it out someday, I might come back and edit it, but for now, you know, it's, it's just gonna remain as the, original content, the original stream. So I hope you enjoy it. Please check it out. And there's some cuts. There are some cuts I can cut now. But this takes too long and I don't generally want to do this. But yeah, a few cuts, December, and I want to do a lot more edits. Wasn't possible. Enjoy the stream. Bye. Alright everyone, hey, what's up? New Year's is totally on and in. We're on the fucking 6th day, my fucking favorite number in all of the fucking letter bet, that's still wrong. The number bet, the number, all the numbers in all the world, 6 is my favorite one, and 9 is my second favorite one because 6 and 9 just flipped upside down, and if you flip them down at the same time, it's sex. So it's awesome, just best numbers ever. So, woo, we're back. We're dressed in red, blue pants. All right. What else? Okay, we're talking about Vaush and Thought Slime today. We could get right into it, but at the same time, I don't know what else you want to hear. You know, we could also talk about some other things I know about. Like, there's some cool stuff about psychedelic drugs that I've been thinking about bringing up in some kind of stream. I don't know if that's going to be this month or this stream, but, you know, it's something I really want to delve into, even though it's fucking nuts. You know, it's Dumbnonblonde. It's not smart non-blonde, okay? But either way, I'm back. Yeah, back in the flesh, back in the blood, back to punch the thugs. Not the thugs. I love the thugs. The dickheads, the Nazis, the racists, the transphobes, the guys who think cis girls actually scissor. Those guys. Okay, let's get it going. All right, let's do it. Boop-a-doo. Cool.
I do think that a lot of the hate that I get from the left has to do with like the performative masculinity thing. Oh, speaking of, Markinator for $5. Thought Slime just handed out his 2021 IBs awards, and you appear in it here. All right, let's go. Where are the memes at?
IBs.
Best takedown of a ding dong. We like to do this. Plenty of ding dongs in the world that need a good owning with facts and logic and reason, etc. It's a staple in bread.
He actually looks like my ex.
It lets you siphon some asshole's popularity to show people who are interested in said asshole why they're a asshole. The nominees are Sean, Jimmy Dore's anti-vaccine lies, Professor Flowers, the master debater, Vaush on black nationalism.
I remember that critical takedown.
And We're in Hell, featuring Unlearning Economics, the cruel optimism of Steven Pinker.
I love to be put alongside Jimmy Dore and Steven Pinker. The cruel optimism of Steven Pinker is a really good video, by the way.
And the IB goes
it's got
Professor Flowers, fuck.
Yeah, I fucking thought so. There we go, nice. Thought Slime has some weird obsession with me that I really don't get, but yeah.
Look, it's not...
Okay, to make things clear, Thought Slime and Vaush, I made a fucking video on this at some point, or I made some kind of content about it. Vaush called Thought Slime some pretty mean shit, And Vaush made this stupid argument, whereas trans people shouldn't like basically fight transphobes. Instead, they should be less whiny and be politically facetious. That video, that was a really good video, and I like that video. You can watch it. It's on my YouTube right now. But yeah, if you want my YouTube, just go YouTube Dumbnonblonde and then click No, I mean Dumbnonblonde, because if it tries to tell you something else, just click No, I mean Dumbnonblonde, because I'm not that big yet. But either way, Vaush was basically being an asshole when Thought Slime tried to reach out and kind of explain like good points. So in my opinion, Vaush has too much testosterone fuel impulses, and instead of just going, he goes with a headlock. I'm not even gonna listen to you. Like, so sometimes Vaush can be cool, sometimes Vaush can be based, even a lot of times. But I honestly think Thought Slime is more based. That's my opinion, because Thought Slime made this awesome video about being nice to each other. That one, and that was really, really good. I thought it was really, really positive. And I also made like a special meme for this. This is only for my YouTube. All right. Did you enjoy that? Yeah, that was pretty fun. I like doing it. I've been planning that for a while. I'm sorry, Thought Slime, but I had to do it. Either way, yeah, I'm doing some edited stuff again. I'm gonna hire an editor, but for now, I'm just trying to edit all my streams, and this is one of the ones that I've edited. Either way, everyone on stream thinks I'm fucking crazy, but that's not different from any other stream. Either way, Thought Slime over Vaush in this argument.
Not that I think she doesn't deserve it. I think she does, obviously, or else I wouldn't.
I'm honored.
Have picked her.
Does that go to me? I guess it goes to her.
But
yeah.
Because none of this should have happened. It's deeply troubling that any of it happened. She didn't set out to take down a ding-dong, but rather to explain black nationalism, a position that she does not even hold, but does understand, in good faith, and was then harassed, bullied, and slandered for it.
I feel like my main issue here, after all of
I feel like your main issue here, Vaush, is not understanding the fucking plight of black people. Like, it's cool. A lot of times you're kind of okay about, like, black people wanting their own space, black people wanting their own respect, black people wanting equality, black people wanting their power back. But the whole point about black nationalism is that there is white nationalism. If there is white nationalism, but there isn't really established black nationalism, that's a power imbalance. And again, racism is prejudice plus power, so do you want to influence racism or do you want to influence equality? There's a reason black people fucking hate white people. It's because white people were not only the oppressor and the, what do you call that? I don't know, there's a word for, like, taking over places and, like, being fucking colonizers. That's it. Yeah, ding ding. Either way, yeah, Vaush doesn't get the fucking, actual, hate and disgust for white people like I do, because I was just in a relationship with a guy who had hate and disgust for me. And he was black, and he had every right to have hate and disgust for me. At the same time, he kind of did it to the wrong person. He doesn't really know, like, I'm a minority. I don't think he sees it that way. Either way, he did a lot of bad stuff recently, and we totally broke up. But I understand black nationalism and the reason as to why people actually advocate for it or actually explain it, because people like Vaush will immediately assume racism rather than prejudice. And yeah, prejudice is not when you have power in it. Now, if it was only black nationalism and white people were the fucking slaves and they wanted white nationalism, it'd make more sense. But at the same time, that's not the world we live in, and it's white people who are the oppressors, not black people. So give black people a fucking voice. I don't care how much you don't like it. Every black person deserves to speak, because every white person has, because there are neo-Nazis on this platform right now, and if there are fucking neo-Nazis on this platform and they're allowed to be on this platform, I want black nationalists on this platform and allowed to be on this platform, because equality matters. Black lives matter. Trans lives matter. Xenogender lives matter. That's right, you, xenogender, I love you. Okay.
This is that you guys didn't go far enough in harassing a queer woman of color. I feel like you guys could have gone way harder with that, That's my main issue. I feel like the logistics here just didn't pan out. Like, you could have gone way harder. That's the main issue,
His issue is that his chat wasn't toxic enough with her. You know, I think that speaks volumes for Vaush. I remember when I was in his server, oh my god, you've been waiting for this. You wanted to see how I got kicked out of the server. Well, it was like this. Alright, that's what happened. Yeah, basically it was my fault, you know, and I kind of asked for it, but at the same time I was going through a toxic phase, much less toxic than my other phase. I don't want to do this right now, but this is something I ought to do since it's on my profile. Yeah, I used to be sort of a Nazi sympathizer mix, because my friends are like, be the Nazi, do the Nazi. Yes, you're the Nazi. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll just like pretend to be a Nazi and see how that goes. And that went like this. Yeah, I'm ashamed. No, for real. I'm really ashamed. It's still up there on YouTube and I can't take it down. Please, someone help block that channel. Please, someone help ban that channel. Now, if you hate me because I made that, like, I understand. You know, I'd probably never watch me either. You know, you never read my about, though. And yeah, I'm totally the opposite Ray now. I'm an anarchist. And, you know, I believe in everyone having rights. And at that time, the whole point was supposed to be like you can say whatever you want, nothing is offensive, if you're offended you're a baby, but that is all wrong and all stupid and coming from a 19-year-old's perspective who wanted to kill themselves. So, you know, that was before I actually came out to everyone as trans. And yeah, I did used to sound like that, and if you want to hear the voice, hello, hi, it's me. It's actually me. All right, either way, I'm a completely different person now. You know, feel free to shit on me. You know, Vaush never made mistakes like that. Pretty much no one made mistakes like that, but I don't know why I made this my coming out video, but yeah, I used to be an awful person. You know, I did some things I'm not proud of, some things that scarred me for life, some things that continue to scar me for life. But you know what? I'm making it better. I'm trying to do my best. You know, if Hitler were like had a little like 2-ish month phase, 2-ish month, I don't know if that's true. Like let's say 5-month phase of being kind of an asshole and like propagating that like there isn't such a thing as hate, and then changed his mind and completely turned around and became a fucking anarchist liberator, I don't think we'd see him the same way. So I'm not Hitler, but I kind of was a bad person before. All right. Either way, I love everyone. It's very clear. If you don't love me anymore, I still love you, and you have the right to fucking hate me. Yeah, it was an awful time. But, you know, no Nazi paraphernalia here. Only anarchist paraphernalia, honestly. Yeah, I'm ashamed. But I'm much more femme. I have boobs now. I have estrogen in my body. I have a lot of sensitivity. And I have actual knowledge in my brain of what it feels like to be a fucking minority. Because I didn't have to experience that first to change. All I had to experience, what changed my mind? What stopped me from being that disgusting, awful, irredeemable person? I'll tell you what, I was sitting in my bed thinking about the next video I was going to make and feeling like fucking shit, getting up and going to my computer, trying to do something awful, and then the fan died. When the fan died, all of my awful shit stopped. It just completely stopped. And yeah, like, at that point, I had to sit with myself and think, and got to experience some like male friend attention, realized I liked that, and realized I couldn't keep doing what I was doing. So yeah, it kind of took a intervention from God, but it still did change me. So, you know, you don't have to forgive me. I don't really forgive me. It's kind of why I'm still sad and not like life. Either way, you know, some mistakes follow you forever. So, hi. Yeah, yeah. Moving on, back to the video.
Honest. Oh yeah, same shirt. What's up? That's consistency right there. Wait, she claims to be a black nationalist? Yeah, wait, doesn't she literally... Wait, hold on. Thought Slime is literally conflating this in the same way Professor Flowers accused me of conflating it. I'm pretty sure that Professor Flowers identifies as a black nationalist. It's a black separatist that she lied about and actually does believe but pretended not to believe. But right now, Thought Slime is saying... Were you doing the same thing? You... No. She does believe in... Well, actually, she believes in black separatism. Keep in mind, we're on like 3 layers here with like what, you know, Whitey Thought Slime thinks, and then what is the actual thing that they believe, and then what the thing they lie about believing is. It's like dealing with...
Okay, even if they're black nationalists, they can't be racist, okay? So, you know, they're also queer, so... You know, is it the best thing ever to, you know, propagate black nationalism? You know, in my opinion, the best thing ever is to propagate anarchism and, like, uniting. But is there room for it? If there's room for Nazis, there has to be room for it. So, sorry, bud.
Fuentes over here. Jesus.
People were calling her a Nazi for trying to explain a historical liberatory struggle for marginalized.
Dude, is everyone going to call me a Nazi now? But I'm not. I'm an ex-Nazi. Hi. Oh, God. My first debate's going to be on how I stopped being a Nazi with a right-winger and why I should continue to be one. Oh, man. That's going to be rough.
People who she...
Marginalized people. Ah, you mean the Aryan Volk from the Jewish scourge? That's what she believes. Not me, by the way. Not me.
Didn't even agree with. Simply by trying to correct misinformation, she exposed an ugliness at the heart of the way that white people look down on and talk over people of color. The way that conflict can be cultivated and weaponized.
2022, baby. It's the ableism arc and the talking down to people of color arc. That's what we got.
To create bottom-tier personality-based content.
Okay. Sorry to make this all about me, but you remember that guy who was like my drip down the alt-right pipeline? He had a lot longer of a time to drip down the alt-right pipeline and to be like a misogynist and all that kind of shit. And well, I can say I was an awful, terrible, bigoted, dumb, and, you know, in hindsight, racist person, even though I wasn't, like, you know, actually racist. I was just, you know, racist sympathizing and thus being racist that way. You know, I never actually hated black people. Like, I thought black people were really smart and funny all my life. And I've always been attracted to all sorts of people, including black people. And even at that time, I probably would have told you, yeah, black guys are hot. But either way, what did they just say? You know, what's his name? Damn it, I can't remember his name. But either way, the alt-right pipeline guy, yeah, that guy. You know, he and I had a similar experience, whereas our friends would like encourage us into it. Okay, I'm gonna stop making excuses, but it's just I'm a different person. Please believe me, man. Everything's changed about my life. I swear to God. Oh man. Okay.
To the loudest go the spoils. Fuck anyone who gets in their way. And right now you're probably all mad in the comments saying, "Why are you being so mean to Vaush?" And
wait, why? Wait, hold on. Wait, why the fuck would your audience say that? What? People vastly overstate the reach of my audience. Anywhere online, if you say "fuck Vaush," you're going to get applause. Okay, the only place that's not the case is my goddamn
fuck Vaush
audience. You know.
It is not my intent to be. I'm not trying to single out Vaush in particular. Obviously, he and I have a history of mutual animosity. And to be clear, I do think he behaved disgustingly. But I think the reason that these...
this is the thing, by the way. They never actually say for what. Like what, though? I talked with Professor Flowers. It was like, I was very calm with her. I treated her like the baby-brained moron that she is. You know, I had very
baby-brained moron.
Many layers of gloves. Like mittens. With how many layers I put on, you know.
Ooh.
I was very kind. Yeah, I gave her therapy for fuck's sake. I gave her a free therapy session. I just like what did I do?
Oh man, Vaush is
what position did I hold?
Get out of your ass! You're not a therapist.
That they take umbrage with, because the only position that she and I couldn't come to terms on is she thought it was okay to kill or ethnically cleanse millions of white South Africans. And I thought that you shouldn't do that. That was like the critical Professor Flowers, right? Like if you're like racist against white people, or if you're like an honest to God anti-white racist, you know, the easiest crowd to like work with are the self-hating white people. You know, that's incredibly easy to work with them because like they'll work with are the self-hating to God anti-white racist. You know,
anti-white racist. Damn, man. I think those very few, if none. Maybe there's like a black person in power somewhere who's got like a lot of power over white people that hates white people, but like, dude, there is no black versus white genocide going on right now, okay? And even if it was, you couldn't really call it racism because racism is prejudice plus power. Now, the reason we use that, the reason we don't just straight up call black people racist for hating white people specifically is because white people specifically oppressed them, alright? Now, if black people were to be prejudiced against another minority, maybe you could argue more than bigotry. But it's kind of hard to argue more than bigotry when white people were the primary people who destroyed black culture. They took them from their fucking land, Africa, and took them all the way over here, America and Europe. Europe, to fucking sell them as goddamn meat slaves, servants, fucking teeth for the president. Like, the awful things that have happened to humans at that point, the atrocities that actually happened, like in real life, in real time, actually happened. I don't think it's that bad for a black person to be like really bigoted or, a prejudice against a white person. It's not as bad. Vaush, no matter what, you're gonna be sitting pretty in your chair with all your hordes of bitches, and no matter what, that black person is gonna go outside every day and face the racism every day, like I face my prejudice every day. I have feels, I have sympathy for that person. Like, oh, it's not that hard.
The easiest crowd to like work with are the self-hating white people. That's incredibly easy to work with them because like they'll.
You mean the white people who are willing to reflect on the differences between prejudice and racism.
Just agree with whatever the fuck you say. They'll call anyone who disagrees that you're racist, and they're like your shield, right? They do the same thing.
Like, okay. Here's the point. Do you think Thought Slime would stand idly by as a black person took a hatchet and just chopped into a random white woman's head? Like, you think that's what's gonna happen? No, Thought Slime is not only gonna call the police, not only gonna shove that person off the other person if they can, or like just help in any feasible possible way they can, or run in terror and fear and disgust and distrust and hate for that black person that did that. They're also not going to be like, man, black people are evil, black people are awful. Neither of those things are going to happen. They're going to be like, that's an awful person, and they happen to be black, and they happen to be disgusting and hateful and evil. Like, that person is fucking evil. Like, you can't really call them racist, but you can call them evil. And not really much is worse than evil, They might be just really prejudiced and really hateful towards white people to the point where they were tipped over the edge and that white person called them the N-word. And, like, they didn't deserve murder, but they did deserve to be, like, talked back to, or maybe get a sock or a slap in there. But they, they overboarded it, and they just, and that can't be justified. I'm sorry, you can't justify murder, And Thought Slime would agree. That's not what any of us are saying, all right? We're saying, where's the space for the idea that black people deserve their own liberation and their own space from white people? Don't force them to be around us, right? Like, what's so hard about that to understand? Like, I get it. I face a lot of black people face to face as a white person, and I basically always make them uncomfortable in some kind of way, even when I'm trying not to, even though I'm really, really nice. Like, it doesn't matter that I'm white, nice, I'm still white, It's like, okay, imagine this scenario, right? A civilization is born, whole civilization happens, awful atrocities happen, but then a specific group of people are targeted with awful, awful atrocities, unnameable, terrible atrocities, worse than any atrocity you could ever imagine happening, and then being there in history for the people of the future of that group to look back on, to see their own parents live in poverty, their own grandparents having been a slave, and then looking face to face to the demon that did it to you. Whether they're guilty of it or not, you gotta cut them some slack, man. You gotta. Like, when it's that awful, there's nothing worse than slavery. Because you know what happens in slavery? Everything you don't want to happen or imagine for anyone to have to go through. There is no scenario you could play out where it would make it worse for black people. It was the worst it's ever been, ever, for any people ever, when it was slavery with black people, or slavery pretty much with anyone, but black people were specifically targeted, and in America, they suffer from it today. The ramifications of what your ancestors did make them suffer for the ramifications of what their ancestors suffered. So suffering continues, and supremacy continues. So this is why, when a black person looks at you, Vaush, and says, dude, you're disgusting, you're not even giving me space to, like, feel fucking rage and anger, which is, like, fucking valid. And then you know, for Thought Slime to be like, dude, I totally understand, and for Vaush to be like, fuck you, racist. Like, that's obviously like, dude, you're gonna break my hair. Like, you do not know what fucking happened to my grandpa. You do not know what fucking happened to his father. You do not know what fucking happened to my dad. You do not know what fucking happened to me my whole life growing up, having to hustle, having to work, having to do everything I possibly can to keep ahead and barely keep up with a white person never actually catching their tail. Like, dude, it's not fair. This is why they're fucking upset, okay? It's not fair and it's not justifiable. You can't justify that shit. So there has to be space for angry, mad, pissed off, wanting to change the world, wanting to escape white people, black people, okay? There's gotta be room for it. Because there's already black people who completely accept white people, even understanding all those atrocities happen, live perfectly in our culture, and actually enjoy it because they have special privileges, like they were born with parents that happen to not be redlined, happen to not be, terrorized throughout their life and actually got ahead in life and they gave them a good life and got lucky, or, they've struggled themselves, but they've realized and accept the camaraderie between both black and white people. Now, those people are really strong people and really rare. Also, you shouldn't expect that from everyone. Most black people, the majority of black people, will be nice to your face. But dude, the second you go away, no reason for them not to throw up a fucking middle finger to your white face. Like, there's so many reasons to hate white people, man. There's so fucking many reasons. Whether it's fucking colonizing America or colonizing fucking everywhere else they colonize, Africa, or colonizing like every place they come into. And colonizing doesn't just mean taking from people and creating slaves. It legit means justifying tyranny and like nailing the heads of infant babies to fucking tables, okay? No atrocities are worse than the atrocities white people have committed, all right? It's impossible. You can't make it any worse. Like, you've seen fucking Django, right? You've seen fucking the popular movies about slavery, right? Roots and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't even, it pales in comparison. I can imagine awful things happening to slaves, and that won't be enough. It'll never be enough. Because slaves were seen as fucking property, dude. And I can do anything I want to this can. I can imagine anything I want to do with this can. And it's justified because the can doesn't have sentience. But it can't be justified if the object, human being, has sentience. Okay? Like, at that point, you deserve to suffer somehow. Somehow. Because, your ancestors got it fucking not only good, but they were evil, evil, evil people. You can't justify that shit. While you today might be a good person, and Flowers acknowledges that by giving you the fucking time of day to talk to you, like, oh my god, dude, like, you don't got it that bad. All you gotta do is realize, okay, maybe there is place for outrage. Maybe there is place for white hate, because it makes sense, if then therefore, if oppressed for fucking thousands upon billions of years, not billions, but thousands upon thousands of years, then therefore hate for that person for thousands upon hundreds upon millions of years, if then therefore, if it happened, which it did, then we kind of gotta like allow black people to be fucking mad and pissed off and want space from us, like, and we'll always have the black people and the other minorities and like, not to mention a ton of white people who already love you and suck your dick, Vaush. You don't need every black person to suck your dick. Sometimes you gotta like get down on your knees and see what it's like from their perspective, okay? Like, I don't know what to say.
That black conservatives do for like conservatism, it's really easy stuff.
These videos are so important aren't because they expose Vaush, but because it could just as easily have been me doing that. Me being the one behaving this way.
See? No! Exactly! This is it! It's performative self-hatred. This is exactly what I mean.
It's not performative self-hatred. It is reflection upon complex ideology, which not only makes sense, but is justified, which Vaush can't comprehend. No matter what I say to him, Vaush is gonna come back at me like, okay, buddy, I'm just saying, if you hate white people and you're a black person, I don't care what you call it. I call it racism, because you can't be prejudiced against one kind of person and not be racist. Okay? You don't need power to be racist. Just imagine a bunch of infant children around you with squirt guns of acid. Do you think it's just fine to squirt that white person with acid? Do you? Like, and like, it's like, no, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying torture white people now. Even though that would be justified for a lot of bad white people. Like, I would like totally understand someone taking Trump and torturing Trump for propagating racism, Islamophobia, transphobia, and all that kind of stuff. There are evil white people today. But for you who are learning as to why black people hate white people, there's a reason as to why they do. There's a very good reason. It's obvious. It's in our history books, but we don't have time to read. We don't have time to think. We're just gonna compare ourselves with the literal lowest form in society that you can like survive in as a slave. All right, that is the lowest form in society that you can even survive. It's hard to call it survival because it's like forced living. Do you know how many slaves tried and wanted to commit suicide because they tried to run away and it didn't work? Like, it's too many to count, okay? Way too many to count, all right? Dude, what doesn't Vaush get about this? Like, I don't understand. Like, okay, would I be friends with a black supremacist? Hard to say that they'd want me as their friend, but I think I'd understand them. I'd sympathize. Is it sympathy or empathy? Sympathize. I forget which one it is, but I would obviously understand as to why they're unhappy and as to why they hate me, and I would give them space to say it to my face and not talk back or over them like you're doing right now, Vaush. Like you're doing right now with a big audience. Ugh.
He can't even just condemn my behavior. It has to be a we the whites thing, Well, the real reason that I think this is good is because, as whites, we're all vulnerable to this. Like, no, this is what I mean.
Dude, Sassam isn't even going as far as I am, to where I'd be like, yeah, I'd justify people, like, legit, like, I'd justify this. Just a bunch of black people invading the house I'm in right now and taking me, taping me up, taping me to a chair, and forcing me to watch black slave torture and see my reaction and judge whether or not I actually have a heart in my body. And I guarantee you I would cry, I guarantee you I would freak out, probably pass out, be forced to watch more until I understood. I would accept that. Doesn't need to happen though, because I fucking understand it. Maybe it's because I was on the other side for a little bit, the centrist fucking Nazi side, and now I've changed completely to the leftist, like lefter than left anarchist side. But whatever it is, I completely understand it. I do understand it. I cried. I remember, pretty sure his name was Devon Bailey, gentleman who got shot in like the rib cage, and he died an awful, slow, horrible, terrible, like just wretched death, and nobody helped him. The cops slowly took his pants off while he was like, it was the worst thing in the world to watch. I hated that. I hate that. It haunts me in my dreams. And he's just like trying to breathe, trying to function, and his whole body is seizing and spazzing, and he's feeling everything until his last moment, until he fucking dies. Like, oh man. But yeah, I can feel shame in myself and also like see the pain from outside my eyes into the eyes of another person. That's why when I look into the eyes of anyone, any ethnicity, any group of people, I look into the eyes of another soul. I feel like I'm looking in a mirror. This person feels also, and if they feel also, and I can put myself in their shoes, just imagine another one. You grow up as a kid and you're thinking, man, dad has a lot of rules about behaving around white people, and it kind of feels weird. And then growing up and realizing dad was not only protecting me, but dad was terrified of these fucking evil white people at the top of the world, and now I have to make friends with them. Like, would you want to live around them?
Can't just be a denunciation of political positions they don't like. This is an apology for being white right now, which is crazy. I can't imagine being.
It's not an apology for being right, okay? I have to keep saying this because it's just, I can't let Vaush just step all over black people right now, because that's what you're fucking doing. It's not an apology for being right. It's a reflection on being white. No one is actually going to come into my house or Thought Slime's house, tie us up, and make us watch movies, even though that would be completely justified. We wouldn't even be harmed. We would just have, well, I mean, We would be harmed in the sense that we wouldn't have like our autonomy and our rights would be taken away, but we wouldn't deserve rights until we could understand that other people deserve rights too. But neither of us deserve that, and that's never going to happen. All that's going to happen is uncomfortable conversations. And if you won't hold place for uncomfortable conversations with fucking black nationalists, but you will hold them for Nazis, something's wrong with you.
Apologetic over this shit, man. It's fucking wild. I don't know. Man.
I like to think I wouldn't, but the fact that I could, the fact that my audience, who are also largely Vaush's audience, would let
Is that true? Well, hold on. I
maybe
feel
right,
like
maybe wrong. We don't care, Vaush. Get up, get out of your ass.
His wild.
Out of your ass. Okay.
Analytics. Yes, it's true. Oh, we got links and everything. Oh my god. YouTube analytics occasionally reminds me the channel I share the most audience with is his being Vaush. Oh yeah, they're complaining about me a while ago. That is
actually right.
And by the way, they're Vaush viewers watching your content, Thought Slime, not Thought Slime viewers watching my content. Remember.
Oh, but the contraire. There's a Thought Slime viewer watching you right now, Vaush. What are you gonna do?
me get away with it, and that's a problem. This is.
Can you check in the YouTube stats? No, I can't, because it's not true on my end. This is what it means to have the GigaChad community that I'm a part of. Thought Slime doesn't even show up on my adjacent channels list, which means that my...
Okay, not only that, but Vaush also just recently held space for a known pedophile. But they won't hold space for black nationalists. Let that sit. Simmer. Heat up. Pedophiles. Yeah, okay. Oh, no more pedophile. Okay, he's done. Black nationalists. One time. Whoa. Go away. I don't need that. I don't want that. Icky. Okay?
This is basically like virile Vaush channel seed. You know what I mean? Like all the channels adjacent to me have my dude showing up. It's not the case the other way around. Most of my adjacent channels have to do with like other live streaming things. I think they're mostly like Hassan or Hassanabi clip channels or my own clip channels, I think.
Get Hassan's name out of your mouth, you filthy fucking dickhead.
Where does it say? Analytics, audience.
By the way, hi Hassan.
Yeah, here's the order. It's my second channel, the Vaush Pit. You should all sub, by the way. Hassan, Sam Cedar, Destiny, Daily Dose of Hassanabi, Secular Talk, David Pacman, and the rest of it is channels adjacent either to myself or Hassan. Oh, and the Young Turks and some more news. But that's the top 15.
This is not a Vaush issue, at least not exclusively a Vaush issue.
No,
this is not me beefing with the man, because it's a white leftist issue.
Man.
Yes, it's a white leftist issue, yes! I couldn't have said it better myself. Before Vaush gets his fucking word and stomps on the grave of black people, I'm gonna go ahead and put mine in. Yeah, it is a white leftist issue because here's the thing. White leftists do want good things to happen. Maybe even some of them want anarchism. Now, if I'm looking into the eyes of an anarchist and they love everything about like my views about changing the world and actually creating equality and like creating a society which actually benefits its people, you know, and doesn't like lie to them and tell them your vote matters when really nothing you do matters. You just either give what they demand or you don't give what they demand and die, you know, but all the way up to the point to where they're like, but black nationalists, that's not okay. You know, I would happily stare them in the face and be like, dude, that's fucked up. And they'd be like, why? Dude, Nazis are bad. Like, yeah. Dude, Nazis hated people like fucking us, pretty much. Like, we're fucking mixed people with brown hair. And we're not like Hitler wanted us to be. You know? Like, that's pretty awful. But here's the thing. It's not the same way with black people. Black people don't care how you are. It's that you are. You know? It's that you are white. They should have space to have some hate, at least some hate, for white people because black people are hated on, constantly shitted on, big time talk shows. Like, huge time talk shows. Like, the black crime rate is blah blah blah, and black on black violence is blah blah blah. Let us ignore the white on white violence. Let us ignore all the white people in power. Let us ignore that the top companies in the fucking all of America are white. Let's ignore that Europe is full of a bunch of white people. Let's ignore that white people fucking infest the earth everywhere, even in Africa. Yep. Let's just ignore that and focus on the small targeted group of black people who do some bad things. Sound good? Like, those people are literally at the top right now, okay? And black people are way down here being like, dude, I fucking hate this. I want justice. They're fighting for justice. If black people got on equal level with white people, which is impossible, and they both had hate, sure, then it would be power and power against prejudice and prejudice, making racism both ways. But it can't ever happen. You know, it can't ever happen. No matter how far black people rise in the ranks of any society, it will never be equal to. Not until white people are fucking enslaved, tortured, tormented, baited to teeth and white bones, and I'm a fucking house cracker. I said the word. I mean house rich cracker. Either way, because that's what would happen to me. You know. Either way, not until that whole history happens will it ever be equal to black people, and then white people rise back up, and then it's equalized. You know, it will never happen, because we will never allow it, because it is wrong, but it is justified. Wrong things can be justified. Is it wrong to punch your t-shirt in the face? Yeah, can you justify? Totally. What if the teacher told you, dude, you're not a girl, you're a boy? Boom! Deserved it. Deserved it. Was it wrong? Yep, probably shouldn't have done that, but you know what? It's justified.
I hope TS is doing okay, man. I can't imagine having takes this sort. Yeah, are you okay? Jesus fuck. I was at my lowest level as a left-leaning person when I felt like the issue with the world was the essential behavior of non-marginalized groups. You know what I mean? But some people never grow out of that. In a way, it's like it's almost psychotically egotistical, because what people like Thought Slime are really looking for is the affirmation of minorities. It's egotistical and I think rather patronizing. Like the thing.
Egotistical. It's fucking egotistical for minorities to want a space to fucking say, this sucks! You suck! This sucks! How is that egotistical, dude? That is humanity. That is when you push someone and push them in a corner, redline them, and then keep them impoverished, and then put a big spotlight on any of their crimes or any of the outlining people who aren't the majority of them, and then call them racist for being mad about it? Dude! What?
Thing they want the most, the thing they crave the most, I think, is to be told, like, you know, you're the good white or whatever, as their head is like,
no. Buddy, I want to be dead, okay? I don't want to be the good white, alright? I don't even want to be the house Ritz cracker. I don't. You know? What I'd actually like for them to do in granting me mercy would be, like, for us to have the anarchist revolution, and then we're standing at the top, like fucking at the top of like Trump's tower, Trump's dead, and all the bad people are dead, you know, and a lot of the city is burning, but a lot of it's being reconstructed, and we're like reconstructing society, and somehow the military is defeated, and somehow, you know, nukes aren't an issue, and somehow we actually get to the point to what's impossible to reach, and they were like, Jezebel, our warrior, what would you like to have happen? I'd get on my knees, and I'd say, use the pump shotgun on my head.
Cradled, you know, by I guess non-white person, whatever. By, let's just say Terry Crews, because he's like a real big paternal guy, you know, like he's like big, you know, he'd probably be comfy in his lap. Let's just go with that. It's just pick me shit, yeah. It'd be awesome to talk with TS. We will literally never talk with TS. There's 0% chance of that ever happening. I'm like in TS's mind, I'm like, I assassinated Archduke Ferdinand, you know. In TS's mind, I'm pretty sure like I single-handedly did 9/11 or something. Yeah, Hitler too. I don't know. Assassinated. That's when the Pingu does it. Kills
Dude,
you.
No one's arguing
I too am a white leftist. I think a lot of white people get a little too comfortable viewing the situation as simply Vaush bad. This is a systemic problem of white.
Yes, 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 that's what I'm talking about. It's a systemic problem. It's not just me. It's not even just white leftists, although it is a big part of white leftists who will be like, dude, racism everywhere is bad. Like, black against white racism, still racism, man. You can't argue that. But, like, I've already argued that. But it's a big, big thought. Like, if you go to the majority of the leftists and you see and you argue this point, they're probably going to be almost as bad as fucking conservatives and not want to learn new information. It's really tough to teach someone that, I'm sorry, but the person that you are, the blood that runs through your veins came from fucking supremacy. And dude, it's okay for them to hate you. I'm sorry, but it's okay. Do you deserve to be hated on and, like, beat up and, like, tortured and all that kind of stuff? No, 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 no. You deserve love and kindness in your life. But accept that there is hate within the black community for you. That's justified. You have to. You can't unjustify it, buddy. It's justified.
The main problem with this whole situation is too many people were blaming Vaush for Vaush's behavior instead of blaming white people for Vaush. That's what they're saying, by the way, right? They're saying, like, well, I feel like a lot. My main problem with this is that they weren't essentializing this to the race of the guy I don't like enough.
White comfort being prioritized over BIPOC liberation and black.
I can't.
A lot of white people get a little too comfortable viewing the situation.
Dude, he's acting the way I acted when I watched Mr. Girl Debate. Like, dude, talk about white fragility. Am I right? Dude, it's almost like you could break a white person like a Ritz cracker. Just saying.
Is simply Vaush bad. This is a systemic problem of white comfort being prioritized over BIPOC liberation and black liberation specifically. A problem of white people having all of the power and authority even within spaces supposedly dedicated to divesting them of that power and authority. Something that's easy to recognize when it comes from our ideology.
It's a really interesting way of putting it, that lefty spaces are about divesting white people of their power and authority. That is a very interesting, but I would never think to describe a progressive space like that. Oh, progressive spaces, that's where you have white people and men and cis people of less power. Like, that's just very, I mean, technically, like, relatively speaking, I guess that's true. That's not necessarily inaccurate. Equality would mean a lower proportional power for, majority groups right now. But it is a very weird way.
Like, okay, look, if tomorrow all the Nazis and all of the world, all of the right-wingers and all of the world, and all the actually racist people who have prejudice plus power died simultaneously, then maybe we can have the argument that, hey, wait, no, bad white people aren't left. There aren't any white people that are bad left, so there's no reason to hate on white people. All that's left is fucking white anarchists, white leftists, and, like, white centrists that actually don't believe crazy, disgusting things. Their centrism sort of leans on communism or fucking anarchism, between those things. And they're not or they don't really have a political point view at all. They never had racism in their life, and they were never racist. Then maybe we could argue, okay, it's unright. It's not right to hate against white people. But, it's not like that, and it's never gonna be like that. So, there's too much space. Like, so, okay, now say this. Okay, this is realistic and could happen. Say enough, okay, maybe it's not too realistic and it maybe might not happen, but let's say black people get enough support from white people who actually support them, and other people of all sorts who support them as well and give them a big voice. Say Black Lives Matter becomes Black Lives Incorporated, or I think it already is, and then it becomes, like, Black Lives Matter, the fucking echelon, okay? And there's constantly, every day, something called, like, woke news that they say, white people are awful, and they always shit on white people no matter what the white person did. And it were, like, equal to the amount of, like, hate between the two groups. You could argue, at that point, you could argue, it's not racism from the black people, but maybe it's not a good idea to propagate hate on either side. And you could actually sway both sides. You're some kind of god that can actually convince conservatives to stop being conservative, and racists to stop being racist, and prejudice black people to stop being prejudiced somehow. and like you were able to do that, that part's not realistic, but let's just say there's a really good speaker and they sway both of them and unite them, that'd be like a good argument. But that's not what's happening. There is no woke news, okay? There is no huge echelon full of black people just constantly shitting on white people to the point where they justify white murders even when they're unjustifiable. It isn't happening. But there is a bunch of white people on Fox News justifying black murders when it's unjustifiable, okay? Like Kyle fucking Rittenhouse. My, did they suck his cock the whole time, the whole way through. My fucking, one of my techs here. Can you believe it? There's a tech here who believes this stuff, watches Fox News every night. And she said he was a fucking hero, and it was good that he had a gun, and we need more of him. Even when agreeing that he did commit illegal acts, she could not, would not, and will never agree that the murders were unjustified, which they were. And they were all white people. I think one black guy got shot. But either way, they were all a mixed group of people who actually got shot. But in the first place, you could not convince her that those murders were unjustified, even though they completely were. So if they're like that, and the majority of them are, and it's white people in power who are constantly justifying fucking black murders, it's not that bad for some people on fucking YouTube to have a rally of only black people, no whiteys allowed, where they talk about how white people are fucking awful and deserve death. A lot of them probably do, because a lot of them in America are conservative, and a lot of them in America are just like that lady who will never, ever admit that she was wrong and is wrong about the murders justified by Kyle Rittenhouse. The dude walks free right now. Okay. Yeah.
Of putting it forward, you know what I mean? Like it would be like, it's just a bit strange. It's more about a horizontal society, right? Yeah, it's kind of like I'm trying to think of how to put this. I don't know. It would be like okay, we all agree that contraception should be free and accessible to everyone, right? Like that's super obvious, right? Like super accessible, super like, so for good family planning, okay. But it'd be like, imagine if somebody was like, yeah, people should want this so that like fewer black babies are born. And it's like, well, that would be a consequence technically of having readily available free contraception, but it is weird that that's how you're putting the point forward, that it is odd that you would deliver it that way.
Okay, so what he's basically making a bad example of, I don't know how to say that, but is like that the white person is saying that like, black people are affected by something that doesn't necessarily affect black people but can affect black people, and why that matters. Dude, they wake up every day in this hellhole and realize that they will be affected for the rest of their fucking lives because of the color of their skin, because of their ancestry, and because of the oppression of white people every day of their lives. Every fucking day, alright? And you're gonna tell me, oh, which is okay if, there's a little bit of risk, to some black people. Like, no, it's not okay anymore, okay? It's not okay. Anything that affects black people negatively has to be focused on, has to be worked around, because if we can't, then we really aren't doing what we're saying we're doing, which is working for equality. What we're actually working for is fucking subpar evolution in our society. But that evolution isn't necessarily all good and still negatively affects black people. Can't do it, dude. You can't try to do any more of that. We don't need any more of that, because it's everywhere. Everywhere a black person goes, white person in the movie theaters, white person serving them, white person the boss of them, white person driving them, white person being their being friends of their friends, white person buying drugs, white person going in their neighborhood, white person as a cop, white person as a politician, white person everywhere. There's everywhere white people. You can't avoid it. So if you have to live in their fucking world, why not at least shake a fist and yell and be like, this isn't fucking right. Where are my people? Why are my people still oppressed? Why isn't anything happening? Why are you overlooking this? Why aren't you listening? Don't white people have a heart? Don't white people have a soul? I deserve to talk.
We're belaboring the point here.
Biological enemies, but often overlooked, sometimes deliberately, when it comes from our side. So, Lua gets this award. I wish she didn't. Or rather, I suppose I wish that she got it for her video about Tom MacDonald. That'd be nice. Wouldn't that?
1 second, everyone. Do-do-do-do-do. All right, I'm back.
Have been more fun?
Does she agree with Tom MacDonald?
Video about Tom MacDonald. That'd be nice. Wouldn't that have been more fun?
Does she agree with Tom MacDonald? What's the conclusion to that one?
Rap in that video. That's where we could be. We could be talking about that, but instead we've got to talk about this. And side note,
are we done? Are we good?
If you have a problem with any of what I've said here, take it up with me and not her. She's put up with a lot of bullshit about this already. And
oh yeah, sure. I'd totally be down. Yes, you could. If we can talk about it if you want. I'm already done with her, I guess. Yeah, just it'll never happen. It'll never happen. Not in a million years. Don't they prefer they? Okay, wait, hold on. I thought Slime went by he they, and it was the Peter Coffin who went by they them.
Slime uses any. You're right. Okay, just to clarify, Vaush is finally right for once. Thought Slime identified as he him, and then they them, and then he him again. I haven't been keeping up with Thought Slime, but they might identify as they them again, or they he. But Vaush is right here. Basically, he or they.
Any all. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. But people in chat, okay, yeah, all right. Are we good? I think we're good, right?
I guess any.
Oh, top, like top response being FD signifier is not a good omen for whatever we're getting from that. Okay. There's the person.
Yeah, shut up, Vaush. Shut up. What I should have done from the beginning is just mute you. Oh god, dude, we didn't see that. We just saw me the whole time talking about it. Man, I wanted to show the video. Oh well. Well, we went over it. All right, we heard the points, and we understand the deep learning. Okay, I'm gonna be honest about that scene with me and Sean. I did a horrible job of deep learning at that point. I wasn't doing this, which is what I should have been doing. I was doing this. And that looks awful. I have an awful, awful, awful picture of me looking like this. And it looks disgusting, okay? Like, not like I already don't look disgusting anyways, but fucking, I look worse. And I did not learn, not only, like, keep your teeth off the cock, but also keep your lips around the cock. I know that now. And, yeah, it would have been way better if I would have known that at that time. I was just like, teeth away! Like, I just definitely wanted to not ever tooth his cock. And I never did, but at the same time, I also look like half of the time. And that looks awful, even worse from the side. Like, I have that gap. That's very obvious in those pictures that you can see. And yeah, it sucked. It really fucking sucked. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. There's a lot bad. Like, constantly, I'm like, showing my teeth. And that's not what you do. You go, and don't show your teeth, okay? You cover the teeth, and then you open the jaw. And it looks sexy suddenly. Yep. But nobody ever cared, ever, in any of my scenes to be like, stop, cut, just vote. This doesn't look good. Make sure to do this. Never, ever, ever, because the directors are fucking lazy. They're just like, keep rolling. She looks like fucking hell on a fucking seahorse, but doesn't matter, man. We already got the tape. People will watch this. People will enjoy this. As awful as it looks, no one's gonna say anything about it. Unless it's me. Thank you for liking my deep throating videos. I can deep throat pretty well. Honestly, I can. Especially if I haven't eaten first. And especially if it's not a dildo and an actual cock. But, yeah. Eat away. Yada away. I wanted to talk about more stuff, but this is pretty much a good closing for this one. I don't know if I'm gonna close it here, if I'm gonna do more, but I want to eat some food and I want to do some stuff. But let's see. To close out with this, Black people deserve a voice. I don't care if you don't like the words they're saying or the ideas they're propagating, no matter what idea, even if they were like, okay, even if the worst of the worst, they were like, we as Black people should all together grab all the infant children of white people and nail their heads to a table. Even that, it's like, okay, the rage and the anger is justified. Please don't do that. But, you can't justify that. But the rage and anger is justified. Say it all you want to. You honestly deserve to. You deserve to have and hold the space for that. And I think even at the point to where, like, they're like, okay, we all relocate to a place that is, like, Black ethno-nationalist, and only Black people can live there. And then if white people come over, we imprison them and send them back. Dude, that's mercy. What they should do is imprison them and make them a slave. Like, that's what they should do. That's what they could do and still justify that. They wouldn't even necessarily need to be a fucking a field slave. They could be any other kind of slave, a fucking factory slave, But that would be justified too. That's the point. Is what they're arguing is actually really fucking fair. All Black people, or all Black people who want to, can go to a place where no white people are ever present. You never have to put up with your oppressors ever again. Instead, you stay here and you're fucking safe. And if they come over here, they're not only held and captured, but sent back to where they belong, over in Whitey Town. Not in Blacktown, Whitey Town. That's where you go, okay? Go over there, stay over there, live happy fucking lives. They don't really care about what we do on our side, as long as they're allowed to do whatever they want to on their side. They deserve that. That's fucking justified. But, basically let Black people speak, even if it hurts your feelings, okay? Because every time a white person speaks, it hurts Black people's feelings. Not in the, it hurts my feelings way. More in like, dude, shut up. I'm trying to explain something to you way. Okay? So yeah. We did it. Let's see. I still have to do more things today, more kinds of work, but I think we could run this till 5 or later, and it's only 4:40. Oh shit. It's almost 5. Maybe we'll do another stream later. I don't know what else to talk about at this point. I kind of made like really, really, really good arguments. And yeah, I think they're pretty flawless because they just kind of are based in reality. Like, that's the thing that I'm really good at, right? Like, I can be spiritual and I can be like dualist and I can be like understanding of each person's like wants and desires and feelings. But, that comes along with understanding, the facts of the matter. And a lot of times, if I want to, I can just be cold, hard, evil analyst on you. Like, this is why, like, Black people hate white people. It is justified because Black people were imprisoned and enslaved and tortured and tormented for years. So if they want to do the same things back to you, it is only justified. And especially if they have these, thoughts to want to do it and they don't actually enact on it, and all they actually want is space from you. That should be allowed. I do that like that. Like, I just switch on a dime. If it comes to facts and someone's fucking oppressing someone, I'm like, boom! Like, that's what I did. Oh man, I can't wait. Once I get out of this place, I'm gonna read you the things that I wrote in their forced fucking letters that they made me write for their groups that I missed. Which, oh god, groups. I can't wait to talk about fucking all this stuff once I'm out of here in 3 months or a month and 2 months and a half. But once I'm out, we're gonna wreck it. But for right now, we're gonna sustain it. Oh man. Either way, yeah. As a trans person as well, trans people love it. I knew this was coming. I knew it would come. Trans people have a reason to be bigoted and hateful and fucking prejudiced against white people. and deserve a space to do it and say it in. Because cis people are fucking awful. A lot of them. Not all. But a lot of them are in the top of society. You know who else is cis? Trump. Do you know who else stopped me from having my rights? Trump. Guess what? I have the right to hate and despise him and every single one of his justifiers and followers. I have the... Don't look. Pay attention over here to the trans person. I have a right to spite every last white person, regardless if they're nice or not, because I am currently and constantly oppressed by them. There is never a day when I walk outside when they don't face their oppression. There is never a day when I wake up in my skin, in my body, in my gender, when I'm not fucking oppressed by them. Never, ever. So in that way, black people and I can fucking relate, and we can hate on those people who are responsible, white, cis, heteronormative people. Right? And that's the thing. If you're part of the LGBTQ and you're white, or white appearing, and, you know, you're a nice, good, kind person, this doesn't apply to you, really. You know? You can't hate my sisters or my brothers, black or white, trans or cis, for hating you, though, because they might have an awful experience with people who look and act like you. It might not be your fault, but you have to let them have space for that hate, okay? Like, I love you. I love everyone. I will always love everyone. You know, maybe not Nazis, maybe not, like, kind of, you know, conservative people and people who are oppressive to people like black people and me, you know, trans people and LGBTQ. But, you know, I just, you know, I would love it if there was just a trans no state. Only trans people can be here, and if cis people ever fucking come, they're captured and sent back to cis land, cause fuck them. Cause they don't deserve. I don't care if they're black, I don't care if they're white, I don't care if they're anything, they're cis. Plus if you're heteronormative, plus if you're oppressive. You know, it would be nice. It would be perfect. And it would be pretty much sexless for me, because I personally am only attracted to cis men. But at the same time, I'd give up all of my sexual pleasure just to have distance from them. You know, say an LGBTQ state, because I do like non-binary people a lot. But either way, let's just say trans no state. Okay, let's just go back. Let's go back. You know, the LGBTQ state would be awesome, you know? But at the same time, let's just say trans no state, because it would include trans attracted men, you know? But either way, because they back at it again. Trans no state. Okay. So say there's a trans no state, and, you know, I sacrifice my sexlessness, and all the cis het people are kept in cis het land, and all the specifically trans people, trans only, like, just trans, if you're transgender, like, and let's go even further, binary trans at cis no state, or trans no state, but, and it would actually be not binary, really, more like including, like, non-binary and binary and, you know, I like all LGBTQ. It's hard not to have an LGBTQ state, because, you know, I'd still get cis guys too. But no, okay, look. Either way, trans no state with basically boys, girls, and in-betweens. But they have to be specifically identifying as trans and lived a trans life. Yeah, that's one of the rules. In order to get into the trans no state, what you'd have to do is take hormones and or change your name and gender. Like, one of those two things. And it doesn't have to be legal. It just has to be enacted and shown that it's been happening for a while. You know? Because the legal stuff doesn't actually make you any more trans. You could still be lying about being trans. And there's like a lie detector that we have. It's like a perfect, all-encompassing lie detector. As soon as you go through, we know whether you're actually trans or not. So, and, wait. Paldek, you're ignorant, and I'm not gonna, or the opposite, I'm neither way, okay? That's what I'm gonna tell you. Neither of those. No and no. Neither. I'm gonna say it. I hate saying it again and again. I was born this way, okay? Born just like that. And I'm a female. Born just like that, and I'm a female. Okay, were they not talking to me? Either way. Doesn't matter. Let's see. Thinking. Either way, yeah. Oh, say there was a transno state and all those things were real, like, it would be justified. You could justify it. You could say, yeah, cis hetero people who are white or any ethnicity at all who are cis het don't belong in trans state. They don't. They just belong in cis world, which is exactly what you could say for black people. You don't belong in the black no state. You belong in the ethno state, the white no state. That's where you belong. You belong in the white no state, the ethnos, not the black no state. And if you really want to, there will always be a place in the fucking world where we can all gather together. It's probably going to be Canada. Either way, where I would be, because even though I would adore the transno state, I wouldn't get any sex. So yeah, that's big for me. I don't know what it is about cis guys, but I just can't help. I can't help falling in love with them. You know? And there's a lot of different cis guys I like a lot of different stereotypes or like personality types, like archetypes. But yeah, either way. Oh yeah, you can tell it's me, can't you? And I honestly still love saying that. Yeah, the way. That was fun. But yeah. Let's see. I could do more, but we did a lot, and I have to delete this VOD, and I don't know what to do. I think I'm gonna end it when the thing says 2 hours, and right now it's 1 hour and 42 seconds. So let's see if I can find something for us to do up until then. Let's see. I'm not going to go into the drug stuff, the DMT and LSD, which I really want to go into, but we're not going to go into that now because this is not really a peaceful stream. This has already been a political stream. So, let's see. I don't know, guys. You know what? I kind of feel like we wrap this up. You know, I keep saying that we're gonna go longer, but we didn't actually end up going longer. So I don't know what to do. God, do I look like a troll like that? Someone take a screenshot. I look like a complete troll. But yeah. Either way, Troll Girl signing out pretty much. Here. And thank you for coming. It was fun. I had lots of fun. I hope you had fun. More is coming. I'm deleting the VOD and then posting the YouTube video. So, hopefully you enjoy that. Hopefully you enjoy that. I gotta rewatch this stream there because there was a couple times when I think I made a mistake, and those mistakes have to be removed. Like other things that I did that I'm not even gonna mention, which I was about to mention. Is that racist? Is that fucking bad to make it an accent that I can't really identify, Australian, that I can't really identify or know? Is that really bad? Is that bad? Did I do a bad? Did I do another bad? Well, more things to remove. Either way, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, everyone? Thank you for coming. Trans lives matter. Black lives matter. And xenogender lives matter. See you, babies. See ya. Bye.